7,500 miles, 6 months, one very polarizing truck. I've lived with this thing through rain, snow, service visits, and more attention than I ever wanted. So let's talk about what it's actually like to own a Cybertruck. The good, the weird, and the stuff that broke.
If you're watching this, you're probably in one of three camps. 1, you're considering buying a Cybertruck. 2, you think this is ridiculous. Or 3, you're just flat out curious about how this experiment is going. Now, fair warning though, this is not a fanboy piece. I'm going to tell you what works, what doesn't, and what legitimately broke in my first 6 months. I bought the Cybertruck to replace my Model Y Performance, and I've put over 7,500 miles on it, doing everything from daily commutes to road trips to, well, a couple of service center visits. We'll get into that later in this video. Let's start with the thing that changes everything. Now, before we talk about what broke or what's weird, you need to understand the steer-by-wire system, because this single feature fundamentally changes how you interact with the truck. There's no physical connection between the steering wheel and the wheels. It's all electronic, and the ratio changes based on your speed. For example, in a parking lot, a tiny turn of the wheel goes full lock. On the highway, it's stable and predictable. The first week behind a Cybertruck definitely feels weird. You're fighting muscle memory from every car you've ever driven. After that week, going back to a normal car feels archaic. It's like going from a smartphone back to a flip phone. Add in that 4-wheel steering and you get a turning radius that makes no sense for something this size. I can easily do a U-turn that would otherwise feel uncomfortable with any other truck this size. Now let's talk about performance. The top spec Cyberbeast does 0 to 60 in just 2.6 seconds. That's insane for a vehicle weighing almost 7,000 pounds. My all-wheel drive Cybertruck does it in 4.1 seconds and is still completely absurd. But it's not just the numbers, it's the instant torque delivery. There's no turbo lag, no waiting for the transmission to downshift. You just press the pedal and you go. Every single time. Now the suspension deserves its own mention. The air suspension setup is genuinely impressive. Highway comfort is excellent, and just the day-to-day drive behind the Cybertruck is phenomenal. You can adjust the ride height from 7.5 inches all the way up to 17 inches of ground clearance. Okay, so the drive is great, but what is it actually like to live with? The interior is legitimately spacious. More room than you'd expect up front and back. The seats are super comfortable, heated and cooled, and that sound system is fantastic for road trips. 15 speakers and 2 subwoofers is crystal clear with great bass that fills a whole cabin. The rear screen is a game changer if you've got kids or passengers. It's filled with games, and you can even stream your favorite movies or TV shows and also control the climate control settings back here. The storage in the back is solid too. The rear seats fold up for extra space. It's great for flexible interior hauling without needing the exterior bed every time. That said, the cabin and the bed are completely separate. No pass-through or midgate. So when you need some serious cargo volume or secure outdoor storage, the bed steps up big time. It's actually usable with a lockable tonneau cover when it's sealed properly, and the frunk rounds things out. Though it's small, it is sort of disappointing compared to something like the F-150 Lightning because it doesn't have power outlets in there, even though the bed has a couple of 110 and 240 volt outlets. Visibility takes some getting used to. Those massive A-pillars can hide a pedestrian when turning or on an incline. You learn to use the cameras over time. No physical parking sensors, even though other Teslas give on-screen distance numbers, and this one doesn't. So you're relying purely on the camera feed and spatial awareness. The front bumper camera definitely helps, but yeah, it just takes some getting used to. And then there's the attention factor. This thing draws attention everywhere. Week 1 it's fun, by month 6 it depends on your personality. Enthusiasts chat you up for 15 minutes at chargers, others stare, gesture, or cut you off. If you want to blend in, this is not the truck. Realistic expectations on efficiency are important here. My lifetime average after 7,500 miles sits at right around 390 watt-hours per mile. This is pretty solid for something this shape and weight, but it's definitely below the advertised EPA numbers. You'll see better figures in city driving with lots of stop and go, but highway cruising is where the aero penalty really shows up. That flat end and boxy profile has a slight toll on the drag, and you feel it in the consumption numbers. Speaking of the real day-to-day stuff that comes with owning this truck, the stainless steel exterior deserves its own honest conversation, because while the efficiency numbers are what they are, keeping the outside looking sharp is a whole different reality check. So let's address it. Yes, it picks up fingerprints. Yes, bugs are difficult to remove, but here's the thing. I ceramic coated mine and it completely changed the experience. Fingerprints are minimal now and they wipe off easily. Cleaning it is actually fantastic, but here's the catch. You can't ceramic coat a Cybertruck like you do with a regular car. It's a completely different process, and if you do it wrong, you'll have problems. I made an entire video showing exactly how to do it, including why you need something called Barkeeper's Friend and what happens if you skip steps. If you own a Cybertruck or are curious about ceramic coating a Cybertruck, that video is linked in the description below and it'll save you a lot of headaches.
If you're enjoying this video so far and want more honest Cybertruck updates like this, it would mean a lot if you hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps support this channel.
Okay, time to talk about the things that actually went wrong. But here's the thing I want to make clear up front. These were mostly cosmetic issues, and honestly, non-issues in the grand scheme of things. They didn't change how I feel about this truck at all. Delivery day wasn't perfect. There was a noticeable scratch on the driver's side door latch, and the driver's side door was slightly misaligned compared to the passenger's side. We're talking millimeters difference. And there was a significant gap between the cant rail and the body panel. Not great for a nearly 6-figure vehicle, but they were cosmetic. Then the front camera housing got foggy. It said camera visibility limited and it kept popping up on the screen. I think it's due to the off-gassing of the new materials getting trapped between the glass and the camera. This also caused some phantom wipes. The giant single wiper would just randomly activate. Now service fixed this easily, but it's just one more thing that shouldn't happen. There was also a cracked piece of plastic at the base of the wiper blade. I think it was because it was over tightened during manufacturing. All of these cosmetic issues were fixed under warranty and the service center was super helpful. Now the real problem, the tonneau cover leaking badly. I'm not talking about having holes in it, just the way that it's built. It's not meant to be watertight, but the amount of water ingress that I was having into the bed was unacceptable. After a rainstorm, I had standing water in the vault. It turns out that a slat piece was missing. Now this was in service visit number 1. They added the slat. However, it still leaked and that led me to service visit number 2 where they added a seal and an insulation piece. Now as of right now, it is still leaking a bit when it rains. Some owners have reported that they got it fixed after they took it in for service, and others are reporting they've never had this issue because of later builds. But just know this might be something you deal with. And honestly, instead of taking it in for a third service visit, I think I'll just do a DIY fix where it'll make it watertight. Subscribe if you want to see that video and if you're curious on how to do it step by step. But here's the reality. In the first year or 2 of production, you're an early adopter. You're basically a beta tester. Some people have had 0 service visits in 15,000 miles, while I've had 2 service visits in just 7,500 miles. Now if you're looking to buy a Cybertruck today, many of these early issues seem to be improved on newer builds. But just know early production quirks are part of the territory. Look, I'm not trying to sugarcoat it. These issues happened plain and simple, but they were mostly fixable and none of them touched the core driving experience. I still love this truck. I genuinely enjoyed getting behind the wheel every single time. For long road trips, this thing is unbeatable. It's quiet, comfortable, and packed with the kind of tech that makes hours on the highway feel effortless. None of these early quirks change how I feel about it one bit. There are a few things that just feel like straight up oversights, especially for a truck with this much tech. The wireless charger is painfully slow and it heats up your phone a lot. I've basically stopped using it because I got tired of picking it up and being uncomfortably hot and charging up pretty slowly. I just now plug in a cable into the center armrest and I'm good to go. It's much faster and it doesn't cook up your battery. The tailgate powers down smoothly, which is nice, but there's no power up function. You just have to manually lift it back up. For everything else this truck automates, that feels oddly low tech and inconvenient, especially when your hands are full after loading the bed. Also, there's no integrated home link, which is another head scratcher. You either pay for a MyQ subscription or keep fumbling with a physical garage door opener clipped to your visor. It's one of those really couldn't we include this moments that makes you wonder about the priorities. And then there's a bigger one, the one that almost made me cancel my order. No basic autopilot features like auto steer, lane centering on the highways that pretty much every other Tesla has standard or is an easy add-on. I'm not talking about Tesla removing autopilot a couple of months ago. Last year, all Teslas came standard with autopilot except for the Cybertruck. Now this could be due to some software and hardware differences that the Cybertruck has, but no owner has autopilot. You either pay for full self-driving or stick with a traffic-aware cruise control that comes with it. That's frustrating when you've handed over the money and still feel like you're missing core functionality that should have been there from day one. And some features you paid for, you're still waiting months or longer for software unlocks. And one of the biggest design flaws that I hate about the Cybertruck are the rear seats. Not the comfort or anything, this slit right here that is basically a black hole. Be careful not to place anything like your phone, keys, wallet, or credit cards here, because if it goes down here, it's pretty much hard to find. If you're able to fish out a lost item here, consider yourself lucky, because most of the time you won't be able to see it because it'll go in between the seat and the rear part of the Cybertruck. And people just take it to Tesla service, take it apart to get their stuff that has fallen back here. It's one of the biggest design flaws, and it's such a simple design oversight that should have been caught before production. It's a pain, and it really does mess up the overall experience. Now, a quick word on accessories, because the Cybertruck market is absolutely flooded with products right now. There's an entire industry trying to sell you essential mods and upgrades, and if you're not careful, you'll blow through hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on just stuff that clutters up your truck. From random organizers to gimmicky bed accessories, most of it is just pure hype. I've personally tested dozens of Cybertruck accessories over the past several months, from vault organizers, front protectors, charging solutions, all of it. And I've narrowed it down to only the best of the best. The stuff that actually improves how you use a truck day to day, not just things that look good in photos. I've made a full video breaking down every accessory that's actually worth buying, and I've got discount codes in that video, some up to 25% off, so you're not paying full price for quality gear. I've linked that video in the description below, and if you're planning to buy anything for your Cybertruck, seriously, watch that video first. It'll save you a lot of money and a lot of regret. Stick to what actually works and skip the marketing noise. Let's talk about what actually works really well, because this is where the Cybertruck absolutely shines and makes all those little annoyances feel irrelevant. The bed is legitimately useful in ways that surprise me. LED lights that actually illuminate the entire bed, an L-track system for securing cargo, and power outlets including 240 volts. I can run serious tools off this thing. We're talking welders, power saws, hydraulic equipment. You can even charge other EVs and even power an entire house with PowerShare. This isn't a gimmick, it's genuinely useful compatibility. The bed fits full sheets of plywood and drywall without issue. The underbed storage gets used constantly, it's secure, it's out of the way, and it's way more practical than I expected. And that locking tonneau cover, when it's not leaking, is genuinely secure. Strong enough to stand on, up to 330 pounds, and it transforms the bed into basically a giant trunk. The screen is fast, responsive, and high quality, and the software updates are constant. I'm getting new features, bug fixes, and refinements, and this truck seriously gets better over time. This is where having a Tesla shines. Over-the-air software updates means this truck evolves. Features that didn't exist at delivery suddenly appear. Problems get solved remotely, and that's an advantage of the Tesla ecosystem. It's a massive one. I've done multiple road trips in the Cybertruck now, and it's genuinely one of the most comfortable vehicles I've ever taken on the highway. The whole interior just feels premium in a way that makes you forget about the minor annoyances like wireless charging or the missing home link. And here's the thing, when you're actually using this truck, when you're actually hauling stuff in the bed, running power tools off the outlets, using the underbed storage, experiencing that steer-by-wire system on a tight job site, or just cruising on the highway with FSD handling the boring parts of driving, all of those little complaints just fade away. The tech that matters, the stuff that you use every single day, works brilliantly. This is what makes a Cybertruck special. It's not just different for the sake of being different. The technology actually delivers real, tangible benefits that change how you use a truck. Now, a quick word on insurance, because there's a lot of FUD online. People claim that you can't insure a Cybertruck, or if you can, it'll be insanely expensive. Now, that is not true at all, at least in my case. The difference between insuring my Cybertruck and my Model Y was about 7% more per month. That's it. Now, this is location dependent and your mileage may vary, but shop around, get multiple quotes, and don't let internet horror stories scare you before you actually check.
After 7,500 miles and 6 months in with the Cybertruck, this is my honest take. Buy it if you want the most unique, addictive driving experience on the road right now. I love this truck. The frustrations can be real, but they're fixable, and the highs are unbeatable. The steer-by-wire magic, the instant torque, and the sheer utility genuinely makes every drive enjoyable. My biggest regret is not getting the Cybertruck sooner. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, be sure to drop a like and subscribe to my channel. What are your thoughts on the Cybertruck? Are you considering getting a Cybertruck, or are there some deal breakers preventing you from getting a Cybertruck? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.